Hello, and welcome back to Daily Sim Racing. We're still taking the Ferrari F2004 and the Porsche 919 Hybrid around the two tracks, Monza and the Circuit de la Sarthe. So today we're just kind of seeing a little bit of marginal improvement, and we'll get to see that from the first lap here of Monza. So just as we're noticing coming down through the main straight, we're seeing that the Ghost is still a little bit ahead of us. It's a little harder to see, and I might go in and try and change that Ghost color here in a bit. But we lock up the brakes hard, so that's something where I still need to work on, is not locking the brakes in these fast braking zones. So I do take a little bit of grass there, but nothing new. We're actually still behind the Ghost by just a little bit. So we'll brake again, lock up again. But we get a much better run through the second chicane, which brings us a lot closer to the Ghost. And then coming through the first Lismo, we're almost on top of the Ghost. And I believe, yes, it's here in the second Lismo that we overtake the Ghost finally. However, we do have a bit lower of a top speed. I've added just a little bit more downforce and changed the gearing ratio down just a little bit because I was having some issues. And then where we'll really succeed is coming through the final sector here, keeping it all on the track but making use of all of it, including the curbs. So as we come down and around the Parabolica here, we brake extremely late. We brake almost at the 50-meter board, drop it down into fourth gear, and then continue down the main straight to set just a marginally faster lap than my current my previous best, which is still a much better lap than I did my first day. So we're actually going to take a look at the Porsche now. So as we head down the main straight, we're keeping it in 6th for now, but we jump into 7th, which is new going up this hill. But we want to brake early and then lock up the rear right, but get a really good exit out of the first corner. So we are ahead of the Ghost for the time being, and then we brake into the left-hander. And then I'm getting good at carrying speed through there out onto this curb. And then this is the big one where I learn how much of the curb that I can use, because you can gain a lot of time going over those curbs. But this is where my Ghost starts to catch back up, because it does have more, or has less downforce and more top speed. So we see that as I'm going down here, we're seeing the Ghost gaining by a significant margin. And right here is where it just about overtakes us. But braking into the first of the 4 chicanes is where we really lose time to the Ghost, which I think is just a later braking point. But as we come out, we get overtaken relatively quickly, if I remember right. We're right alongside. So as we're just continuing down the back straight, we're getting ready for the left-right by moving all the way over to the right side of the track. And there you can see the Ghost is past us. So we brake at about 150 and then carry as much speed through here as I can, which keeps me relatively close to the Ghost. However, having a lower top speed does hurt down this part, so that's something that I may need to address in the setup for tomorrow's video. So as we continue coming down here, we're going to brake in a completely straight line over this curb, but a little later than I normally would, locking up both rear tires. Going over the curb, a little bumpy. If I get a bit better exit out of there, I think I can have a little better of a lap. So we're going to do the normal brake into the downhill to the right-hander, but I think I pushed the braking point just a little bit farther this time, and we can see that coming up right about now, where I use a lot of that curb and then brake a lot more coming into this left-hander. But then we're able to carry a little more speed through there than I was in the other setup. Same with this corner, as well as a little bit better of a braking zone. I can also come all the way down into first gear there, and then that gives me a better acceleration onto this straight. which the car handles relatively well. But this is where we start to regain some of that time. We brake very late into this right turn, which gives us a huge time advantage to just take advantage of better gearing through here, where I'm able to hit just the limit between 4th and 5th gear and keep it there. So as we come down through the last little bit of the lap, we can see that the Ghost is just about on top of me, but going over the curbs in that chicane as well as the final is what really sets me apart. And you can see that my Ghost is right there behind me by about a second. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another daily sim racing video. See ya.